Hi, and welcome back to Music and Theatre Education. Today, we're having a look at what's inside my rehearsal bag. Okay, so today I'm going to show you the typical things that I have in my rehearsal bag. So, here is my rehearsal bag. My mum actually bought it for me from Vienna, which is very kind of her. Okay, so first thing, so I'm actually going to fish everything out of this bag. I'm sure you guessed the first thing. It's the script. You'd be surprised how many people I've come across that don't bring their script to rehearsal. Next up, that goes hand in hand, is your pencil case. Now I have quite a few different things in here. Pull the first one out because it's the biggest. Tissues, because you just might need tissues. Okay, now's the really important one. Pencils. Try to bring more than one. Someone's always going to forget it. And then your eraser. Now I always tell people, or rather my cast, to write in pencil because directors change their minds. I am one of those directors who changes their mind a lot, so pencil and eraser, really essential. Highlighting. I'd recommend that you do your highlighting before you come to rehearsal, but it's always handy to have one just in case. You might need a pen, although I highly suggest sticking a pencil. Pencil sharpener is always really handy. Oh, throwing stuff everywhere. Lip balm, because you might get dry lips, and if you've got any kissing scenes, you might want to. And lastly, we got a hair tie. You don't want to go into rehearsal having your hair everywhere, so I always bring a spare one in case I forget to tie my hair up before rehearsal. There's my cat meowing. Next up, pull these out. Whatever shoes you're going to need. So if you're doing a musical, you might need your chorus shoes. If you're doing a play, it might be whatever shoes that you're going to use. So if your character's in heels, or if you're in ballet flats or things like that, you might want to rehearse in your actual shoes. Water bottle. I feel like that one's pretty self-explanatory, but a lot of people forget it in their rehearsal bag. Highly recommend it. You may not have facilities for having a drink of water at your rehearsal space, so it's good to have a water bottle. They're probably your main essentials. Now, the next ones I'm going to do are probably not quite as necessary, but I find them useful. A notebook. I like to have a notebook to write down notes that directors give me, so then I can go back to them later. If you write them in your script, often they get a bit lost or you don't remember to go back to them. So I like to have a separate notebook for my notes. If you've got hot water facilities, I like to bring a travel mug and my favourite tea, which is Vocal Zone tea, myrrh and mint. Really good when you're doing a vocal show, nice and soothing on the throat. Phone charger can be handy. Snacks. Now, this will depend on what stage you're at in rehearsal, what sort of snacks I bring. It's good to bring something healthy. Not sure how healthy these are. Anyway, these, if I'm hungry, are really handy. But you might want to bring some lollies to share with your castmates or something like that. But it's always good to have a snack. Gum or mints. Super handy, especially if you have any sort of contact with other castmates, that's dialogue in their face or kissing scenes and things like that. The last thing you want is to have smelly breath. I've done really up close scenes with people before where they've been yelling in my face and their breath has been not pleasant. It's just nice to think of your castmates and try to keep that breath as fresh as you can. And lastly, this is what I'm bringing to do. So it might be a script, you could just be mucking around on your phone, but bring something to do. So to summarise my rehearsal tips, this is how you can really rock your rehearsals. 1. Arrive early. Early is on time is late. Late gets you murdered. 2. Come prepared. If you have been told what's happening in that rehearsal, make sure you've read ahead, or if it's something you've already been doing, start memorising your part. 3. Write down all your blocking and any notes your director gives you. Then keep reflecting back on them. 4. Warm up for rehearsal. If you're in a musical and they have a tendency not to do an official warm-up at the beginning, warm up in your car. There's a fantastic app called Warm Me Up, and I'll often chuck that on in the car for 10 minutes while I'm driving to rehearsal. 5. Bring something to do. It then means that you're not going to be tempted to have a chat to someone else and distract from what's happening on the stage. 6. Be ready to jump in and help wherever you're asked. They might need someone to read in some lines or to sit on book to prompt people. But just be that helpful person, ready to go whenever you're asked. Ask questions. If you don't understand a direction you've been given, talk to your director. It doesn't have to be in the moment. You can go back and talk to them later. So that was my rehearsal bag and my top rehearsal tips. Thanks for joining us again on Music and Theatre Education. And for now, keep on that theatre adventure.